So we just talked about the arrest, and you got the court date. And if it's an alcohol-related DUI, the police officer probably took your license and handed you a pink temporary DMV license. And on that, it'll say something about you need to call them within 10 days. That's very important. And the reason that's important is, first of all, it keeps your ability to drive beyond the 30 days that the form itself says. The other reason is this will be the time that gives you an opportunity to look for an attorney that can help you out. And you want to find somebody that's got a lot of experience dealing with DUIs and has a specialized training on looking at whether the officer conducted the field sobriety test correctly or not, whether the breath machine was working properly if you used the breath test, and also to take a look at the blood if it was a blood test. And most people, especially first-time offenders who've never been through the criminal process, don't know what to do next. So the reason the DMV hearing's important is not only for your driver's license, but also an experienced DUI attorney can get a hearing set with DMV. We kind of know who the hearing officers are in Sacramento or whatever county you're in, and also know which DMV hearing officers might be a little bit better with certain legal issues that they're looking for. Because DMV is only looking at three things. Were you the driver? If you were driving, was your blood alcohol 0.08 or higher? And then, if those things are true, whether the arrest was lawful. So if you're not a lawyer experienced in representing clients in DUIs, how would you know whether an arrest was lawful or not? Well, attorneys will go out and issue subpoenas to the arresting agency. A lot of police cars now have video cameras, and if the officer says that you were swerving or weaving or there was some sort of bad driving, that video should capture that bad driving. If it's not there, there may be an issue as to whether you were lawfully stopped. The other thing that we can typically subpoena to the law enforcement agency is calibration records and maintenance records of the devices that were used. For example, there may be a rising blood defense, and the preliminary alcohol screening device test that you did, maybe you blew a 0.08. Later on the chemical test, whether it's blood or breath, showed something that was maybe a 0.10, which is, of course, above the 0.08. But on a rising blood defense, if the preliminary alcohol screening device was malfunctioning, reading high, and the reading should have been lower, you might have a great defense on whether or not your license should be administratively suspended by DMV because at the time of driving, your blood alcohol was not 0.08 or higher. Not only that, but getting this discovery through the DMV process is typically faster in some counties than going to court. And by the time your attorney gets to court, you're going to know everything there is to know about your case, perhaps a lot better than the DA in court.